This comparative study applies Lacanian psychoanalytical film theory to Hereditary and A Tale of Two Sisters, examining how family trauma destabilizes identity through the imaginary, the symbolic, and the real. Jacques Lacan argued that identity is structured through three connected systems. The imaginary involves illusion and misrecognition, the false sense of a stable self. The symbolic represents language, social rules, and family authority. And the real refers to trauma that cannot be fully explained or contained, and that disrupts meaning. In Hereditary, the imaginary appears as characters distort reality in response to grief. Annie's miniature models reflect her attempt to control and reshape her world, creating a false sense of order after maternal loss. In A Tale of Two Sisters, the imaginary is visible through projected hostility and fractured perception following the loss of their mother figure. Sumi reconstructs events in ways that protect her from guilt, revealing how identity becomes unstable when grief is displaced rather than confronted. The symbolic order collapses in both films as family authority fails to stabilize identity, and hereditary communication breaks down and mental illness is treated with fear rather than understanding. In A Tale of Two Sisters, strict hierarchy and silence suppresses emotional expression. Repression of mental illness becomes a way to preserve the structure, but it ultimately intensifies fragmentation instead of preventing it. The real ultimately breaks through as trauma that cannot be fully explained or resolved. In Hereditary, grief surfaces in ways that exceed language and rational control. In A Tale of Two Sisters, silence and unresolved guilt destabilize reality itself. These ruptures weaken narrative reliability, producing tilted storytelling structures that mirror psychological collapse. The justification for this comparative study is that despite different cultural contexts, both films use psychological horror to expose how the breakdown of family authority leads to fractured identity. Through Lacan's three orders, this comparison demonstrates how American and South Korean cinema externalize trauma differently, yet reveal similar anxieties about grief, repression, and instability within the family.